Welcome to day. Welcome to day 129 of being a full-time YouTuber slash digital entrepreneur. Don't worry, my writing will get better as we go along. Basically, let's summarize first numbers and stuff. So, on YouTube, we have 78k or something. It's a bit weird on YouTube though because some of our ad videos, so like we make sponsored videos, which we'll go on to how much we make in a minute, but our sponsored videos, some of them, the client has rights to promote the videos, basically to like kind of run ads towards videos to then increase the view count, which then increases the subscriber count. So it becomes this weird kind of like trade-off where it's like, if you do videos you don't really want to do, but then you do them for the money, but then the money gets people, gets the video gets promoted, you get more subscribers. It's a bit of a weird one. Anyway, so we have that going on. Our SaaS Scripty still has a 1 paid user, but it has 34 total like sign-ups, which is cool. So we've made a few amendments there. We might need to go all in there. We'll talk about that in a moment. But let me get into the actual paid numbers before we then, or I guess school, we're down to 52 members. But that's kind of fine. It makes sense-ish because the churn is from people who joined last July and then left when I closed it down. So then that's them actually just leaving now. So that's why the numbers are going down and we aren't moving back up. So anyway, let's talk actual numbers. So far this month, it's the 20th of May. And so closed deals have closed quite a lot, to be fair, like 5k maybe. So our trajectory to maybe have our highest closed month, and cash flow we've maybe got 3, maybe just under 2.8k or something. But yeah, we have another 2.2 or something expected. Oh no, that's in pounds. Maybe 3k expected before the end of the month. So looking okay on that side of things. We're still, main revenue stream is obviously YouTube with sponsored videos. Sponsored. And for context for people, by the way, like see AdSense is maybe 10% of my total income. Affiliate revenue is probably, like 2 to 5%. Like literally nothing. Sponsored school is probably makes like $600 maybe. So maybe I'm trying to think what's the maths on that. I don't know, like 15-ish%. And then sponsored video, loom cut out. But basically then sponsored videos are the rest, which is something like, say that's 30, like 70 to 75% of the revenue. So the problem that we're currently having that I've just kind of realised, sponsored videos are my new job. And that everything else is like the kind of entrepreneurship stuff. Entrepreneur. Now the thing that's kind of problematic that I've found is that, there's loads of stuff to talk about. I'm going to bring the tempo down and expect that this video is just for me for the future. Not for people to watch. So we can slow it down a little bit instead of try to be like YouTube. So, basically here, something cool is it's for sponsored videos. We're working again with some like major brands, which is nice. So DataCamp, we've got High Level, we have 11 Labs. So like some legit brands, right? So like some real-ish money. Depending on the brand, I guess. But in any case, these are like the things that are my job. Now the thing with making YouTube videos is the friction to start is always the hardest thing. So like to go from zero to starting, especially when it's like a job and not just impulse, because normally I'm an impulse YouTuber, so I'm like, I'm going to make a video on that and then I make it right now. When I can't do that, when it's a job, my kind of mood generally goes kind of down, right? Which I'm noticing. If I just focus on like money, getting next sponsored video. But I'm noticing then that everything else, so like my kind of entrepreneurship stuff, i.e., imagine that says entrepreneurship. Basically, I have like, 10 apps or something that I'm building. And this was super exciting, but I've then realised that running or making these 10 apps, I have no like visitors to these sites or anything like that. Or not many. Basically none. There's like no revenue. It's all costing me money. And so the realisation is that the sponsored videos are the money making thing. So if I want money, I make more sponsored videos. But if I make more sponsored videos, then my mood goes down a bit. I feel like I'm confined to my creativity. I can't just like test stuff out, make videos on them. Instead, I have to like make it relative to the client based on a tool, maybe a tool that I wouldn't necessarily use, or maybe at least a tool that I'd maybe use, but I don't know how I'd market it as a video, and then I need to figure that out, then I need to execute it. So I'm obviously coming from a privileged position, but it's like not necessarily, the thing. Also managing emails all the time and stuff. I try to get an AI agent to do it, and it's just kind of works, but not mega. Anyway, so I've realised that all this other stuff, so these apps, basically my excuse for building so many apps was kind of twofold. Number one is that on my YouTube, it was all about the latest in AI. Then it kind of shifted to be like building, right? So I'm kind of more in the building space again. It used to be that, and now it's back. I'm back again. So this is building, right? Which is cool. But the problem is, unless your apps are doing well and or you're documenting the journey here, then the building has to be coupled with the latest, or no one cares. That's why the best videos that I would create would be like latest model tested on, and then it would be like real code, and the real code would be like my SaaS scripty, which I feel comfortable in saying is a real SaaS because I have a paying user. So I'd have latest model tested on real code. But the thing is, this gets kind of boring pretty fast, and I naturally like to build stuff, but I'm realizing that I have to now document and market properly if we want to get anywhere. Market. But sometimes the videos here are kind of like at odds with the building, because then if we look at like time in a day, I'm pretty sure I talk about this like every time, but basically, I only have like absolute max, on a day would be like 8 to 6, and then 9 to 12 or something like that. More like 9 to 5 minus an hour or two to help with the kids, and then at the end here, it's maybe like 1 or 2 hours. So really, it's like 3, 6, 7, like 7 to 9 hours a day maybe. And when you try and block that up between sponsored videos, building stuff, marketing stuff, I'm basically confusing myself, like I'm doing right now. I'm kind of losing the point of what I'm talking about. Basically, sponsored everything. I think we're at this weird, we're basically this weird middle ground where my 9 to 5 has been replaced by like a, 8 to 12 YouTube vids or something like that, right? And this here is getting us, maybe $4,000 a month. But I want to move into like school, I think, or building apps. And the thing is then that like my YouTube channel is kind of changing because of that. But yeah, school, I'm going to go again, I think. I'm turning this video round from being authoritative to just exploratory. But school, then, we're going to go back and do our Grow with Evelyn. I've never felt as confident as I did when I went through Grow with Evelyn, because it like made me realise what school is, other than just making courses, because I was just falling back at the course building trap. And then building apps, I think we might need to go all in on one or two. But with my commitment issues, this is scary business. And also, right now with AI, there's an appeal to being like, I have a suite of applications. And if you're wondering what that suite of applications is, I guess let me show you. So we have Launchmate, which we just launched, kind of. Basically, it's to help you find a market and co-founder if you're a builder, or help you find a builder if you're a marketer. Then we have Techly, which is just like a little kind of experiment of a basically, interesting. Basically, it's, what's going on here? World Builder. It's tech news without any cookies or anything. Then we have Scripty, which is like AI writing scripts. I need to think of a better tagline, but it's like pre-processing, pre-production for YouTube videos. We've just released Scripty Kit, where basically you can install Scripty to your Codex or Claude Code, so that you can like pull a transcript or write a draft for this or package this video up, and it'll actually do it as if it was inside the Scripty. We've also made a V2 Scripty. Baba, looks pretty slick. What else have I got? Oh yeah, I bought a bunch of applications as well, like domain names for like little passion projects that I've been making, like this. I have like 5 of them basically, something like that. Ictus Studios is now my new domain name, which is pretty interesting. There we go, boom, Christian apps and that, which is pretty cool. So I have loads of stuff on here. As you can see, this is probably why I'm so like confused. But yeah, so we have these websites. I feel like I have more. I have School Messenger that I've created, school notifications thing as well. If I show you the School Messenger, because I think this could be cool too. But I think basically I just have like too much on the go at once, which is kind of, freaking out. And it's made me realise like the most important point is really just that sponsors equal money, which is our 9 to 5. If we want money, we do that. Everything else is a venture. And I think I need to start looking at it like that again, because the problem is because money's coming with sponsors, I don't really focus on it. I just make the videos and it's fine. Like low-ish effort. Sometimes it feels like a drag, but it's low effort. Everything is a venture, is a complete reframing on how I'm looking at building all of these applications. Because I was just building stuff and be like, this is so cool. And then the idea was like school would just show off me building, and then I would like teach people how to build their own. And whenever I have a cool idea, I would just build that idea. And I think this is fine, but we still need to figure out how to market these things properly. And I think that's probably the next stage here, really, is... So let's see, sponsors, we're trying to align them more with the channel, but it is kind of hard still to align it with the channel. We're getting increasingly aligned with the channel, which is good. But when you want to fully align with it, it's like, is it something you would actually have covered anyway? Probably not. So it still takes that same effort and energy, but at least it's bringing the right audience. Anyway, so sponsored videos, we do apps, we build, and now we really need to just figure out market, I think. And the idea is that school should be this, and these become, so all of this as well, become videos, and we have then the sponsored videos as well. So then on YouTube we'll have our sponsored videos and our videos based on our actual building, which will then also go into school. And we just, I think the most important thing I'm realising speaking all this out loud, which honestly is like half the battle, is like hearing yourself, is that school we need to do Grow with Evelyn again. I think we maybe need to join some other schools, because I've had this realisation of like, we need to think personally and professionally in regards to products and stuff. Like, you need to be the guy, so you need to be a guy. Like, the guy for this thing, and it's like, if you think, if I was to say make.com, if I was to say NAN, if I was to say Claude Code, if I was to say Codex, if I was to say, SAS, or, whatever the thing is, Azure, Databricks, I don't know, whatever, you can think of a guy who aligns to these, and that's how we need to think of, like, who am I? What is the one-liner? I'm this guy. If you have this problem, I'm the guy. And I think that's really what's going to excel us, make us money, etc., is becoming that guy. And it goes for the same, I think, for apps/products, which is like, you ought to be this thing. So like Scripty, for example, my initial idea was like, if you want to write scripts for YouTube, go to Scripty. But I'm now starting to realise and think like, it should be more that like, if you don't know what to post, go to Scripty. So like, if you're struggling with what to post, go to Scripty. If you don't know how to script, go to Scripty. If you need some ideas for titles, go to Scripty. So basically it's like, if you want to post a YouTube video, go to Scripty. You need ideas, Oh, I'm starting to expand it too much. Let's narrow it back down. It should be more like, Script is a place to find and make video ideas or something. Something like that. Anyway, takeaway is, I guess what we've already spoken about, which is it has to be this and you have to be a guy. So you have to have some identity. And I think that identity should be, a specific thing. I feel like there's a lot of blabbing. But anyway, that's part of what this is all about. And yeah, my biggest piece of advice if you've watched this far is just action. Action over talking, always. Take care, see you later, bye.